Hello! In this video, I will touch on 3 basic areas for developing and maintaining a healthy singing and speaking voice. The first is posture. How are you sitting or standing right now? Are you slouching a little bit? Is your neck stretched forward or head hanging over your chest? Are you looking down at your phone? To straighten our posture, I want you to imagine having a string attached at the top of your head, okay? We're going to take our poor posture and pull the string towards the ceiling. And now imagine that that string is connected to the ceiling. So what this should have done is taken your head from a forward position over your chest to a neutral position over your shoulders. Your shoulders should have become more relaxed, down and back, chest forward, and your upper body should be sitting squarely over your hips. Now it's important to remember these good postures because the poor postures can cause 2 main areas of unnecessary tension. And when tense, the muscles in the back of your neck can greatly hinder your ability to phonate freely because they're connected with your jaw, your tongue, your face. And yes, all of these affect your ability to sing and speak freely. So if I sing a phrase with my head forward like this, somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere over the rainbow. So hopefully you notice the difference in between those 2 sounds. In the poor posture, my volume is much lower, my pitches aren't as clear as they could be, and in that position, I'm going to become much more fatigued, much faster than singing in a proper position where I'm standing up straight, the top of my head is connected with the ceiling, my head isn't hanging over my chest is forward. Having that proper posture automatically gave me more room for inhalation and made my volume louder with singing, and my pitches were clearer, and I am not going to have fatigue from singing in that position for long periods of time. So you're protecting your voice when you sing with proper posture. So the second reason that poor postures can cause vocal tension is that when you try to take a breath, your rib cage won't be able to expand fully. Your diaphragm is a muscle that separates your chest from your abdomen, and it moves down with inhalation and up as you're exhaling. So when your diaphragm is squished down with your ribs because you're sitting or standing with poor posture, your diaphragm won't be able to lower fully when you inhale. So in other words, your lungs aren't going to be given enough room to expand. So this brings me to our second area, which is breath support. For those of you who are not familiar with using your diaphragm to inhale and exhale, if you're used to breathing more with your chest up here, what we're trying to do when we sing and when we speak, ideally in everyday use, you're going to be using your abdomen and your lower abdomen to power your breath and your voice. So as you can see here, as I inhale, my abdomen expands outward with inhalation, and as I exhale and breathe out, my abdomen pulls inward with that exhalation. So outward with inhalation and inward with exhalation. And the way that you can try to breathe and inhale and exhale is through your mouth. You don't want to do it through your nose. You want to breathe through your mouth. You're going to inhale like you are sucking on a straw. So inhaling and exhaling on a hiss. So inhaling with a straw and exhaling with a hiss, like an S sound. So breath powers your voice. I want you to think about, are you taking enough breath for the phrases you're speaking or singing? A lot of times people sing and they speak with an inadequate amount of breath or air, resulting in straining or pushing of the vocal cords towards the end or the beginning of a phrase. This is a huge culprit for vocal fatigue, and many times you'll see people, an example of this is somebody is speaking and their veins are bulging out of their neck muscles are even bulging forward, and as they continue to run out of breath, it just gets worse and worse, and the face can redden. And those are extreme cases, but that's an example of how not having enough breath support can cause that tension and vocal fatigue. So our third and final area of the basic areas is diction and pitch. So do your phrases turn down in volume or become lower in pitch at the end of a sentence? Do you find yourself mumbling or speaking lower in a voice at the end of a phrase, just like I did there? Try to focus on keeping your voice and your pitch at a middle range level. Finishing phrases with a semi-question mark or imagining the words lifting up at the end of the phrase will help you to keep this pitch level engaging and keep it from diving down as you're speaking. So a good phrase that I could use is, yesterday I went to the store. Yesterday I went to the store. Do you notice the two differences in each phrase? One turns down and one turns up. One is not as engaging and one is more engaging with the human ear. So the saving grace for any tired voice is going to be rest, but when you can't rest, give yourself time for adequate breath in between your phrases. And by doing so, your body will not feel it needs to rush through words or phrases, and will also help you from turning those phrases down in pitch or volume. And finishing with that question mark or that upward turn in shape with the phrase will also keep those things in line. Let's try to remember, 1, how are you sitting or standing? Your first line of defense for your voice is by sitting up straight. So remember the string connected at the top of our head to the ceiling. Number 2, are you taking adequate breaths before you speak or sing? Do they feel like enough? If they don't, pause for those deeper breaths while sitting or standing in that straight posture. And number 3, how are you vocalizing? Are you keeping your voice at an engaging pitch level, or are you mumbling at the end of a phrase? Be mindful of these 3 areas when you sing and speak, and you'll have comfort and ease throughout the day with your voice. I hope that these tips were helpful. If you're interested in learning more about finding your true voice and learning exercises related to these 3 areas, click the link below to book a lesson with me today. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.